everyone, Kuro the Artist here, and welcome to the first Ben 10 breakdown of 2024. Can you believe we've been doing this for 3 years already? Crazy, right? We've spent a season and a half with Rook substituting Gwen and Kevin as Ben's partner, and while it took fans a bit to get used to him, I think by now he's earned a worthy spot in the main cast. And what better way to hammer that in further than to visit his home planet of Ravana. We've been getting small hints here and there about what life was like for Rook growing up, but now we get to see firsthand where he comes from, what his family is like, and a history of their culture and traditions. This episode's very straightforward and doesn't need that much of an explanation, so if this is your first breakdown and you're curious about how my rating system works, there's a detailed description down below, along with a link to all my previous breakdowns, but by all means watch this one first, I'm sure you'll still enjoy it. Although allow me to use this time for a few quick updates. 5YL episodes 1 through 6 are out on the channel now. If you haven't seen them already, go check them out. We also have the soundtrack out on our second channel, along with Spotify and more stores to come. And if you want to either help dub the series or just mess around with it in editing, on our second channel you can also find the first 6 episodes with either all of the English audio and text removed, and with all of the music removed as well, which should make them very flexible for you to do whatever you want with them. Episodes 7 and 8 are the next ones in the pipeline. You can catch frequent updates over on our Patreon, including a full preview of the first couple minutes of episode 7, along with season 2 of And Beyond as well. I'm telling you, Patreon's where all the goodies are. It also seems like there's a strong chance we're gonna be at MomoCon again. With everything we got going on, it might take too much time away to finagle getting other cons, but you can at least expect MomoCon again probably. And lastly, I'm also considering opening my commissions again, which includes reviving the Drawing with Kuro series, where you can watch me draw your commissions live on stream. When that happens, it'll be happening over on our Twitch, so why don't you give us a follow over there so you can catch it once it begins again. But without further ado, let's jump into the episode. On January 12th, 2013, Richard Purcell gave us Bros in Space. As Ben and Rook visit Rook's home planet to reconnect with his family again in time for the harvest season, it appears that their gigantic rodents known as the Muroids are evolving a lot faster than they would have expected.
Ravana.
I think this is the first Omniverse episode that takes place off-world in the present day. They did go to Galvin and Galvin B, but that was a flashback. Smoothies was in space, but, you know, that's not a different planet. Yeah, first time off-world in OV. Let's see how they do.
I have not participated in the harvest in some time. It will be good for you to dig in and get your hands dirty.
Y'all remember the last time Ben tried that?
All about working with my hands. Humongosaur, boom. Shock squatch, boom.
If only you actually got the aliens you wanted though, right, buddy?
Not what I meant.
Field work, can't wait.
Still not too crazy about rough chores, but at least so far he's got a better attitude than last time.
You will love Ravana at harvest time.
Always love whenever they do a little jump when something flies by the camera.
Ravanaganders are gentle, peace-loving farmers.
Pretty interesting terrain already. Does Earth have any areas where like we naturally get those like layered indents of land? Searching layered landscape. I don't know. I'm struggling to find the keywords to find something like this. I'm sure we got something like this. It looks a little familiar. Let me know if y'all know any areas on Earth that has some sort of strict zigzag pattern towards it, but it has to be natural. That's the only way it counts.
They will welcome you with open arms. Not exactly open arms, Rook!
The firework animation runs out before it's out of frame and just pops away right here. Still discussing Ben 10 lore in 2024, Ben 10. Fireworks cast light on the proto truck.
For millennia, my people have launched fires during the harvest
Everybody stand at perfect attention.
to fend off the mindless, crop-destroying rodents.
Those rodents were first mentioned in episode 2.
The most exciting thing to do there is keep rodents out of the grain silos.
On Ravana, the rodents run fairly large.
We're already seeing a lot of diverse designs for Ravanaganders, and these are just background characters. So it seems like their facial patterns and their facial colors aren't based on gender. Anyone can look like anything. Rook has a really nice house. Look at this. Wonder what their economy is like. It's probably based on Anbarogia, but I mean, like, man, all this just for him? This nice little dock for the ship? So I know going off-world isn't a big thing for Ravanaganders, so I wonder if this was built specifically for Rook's ship, or if this served some other purpose before he left the planet. I love seeing alien tools and weaponry. Looks just different enough from Earth, but you can kind of tell what this thing is. Oh, he's so happy to be home. Oh, those things are on there.
Behold, Amber Ogia.
I love seeing Rook off hours. As polite and professional as Rook appears, this is probably just regular eating habits for Ravanaganders. And y'all already know I want to know what that tastes like. It seems to be like some type of gelatinous, transparent thing. It's not just a fruit. I imagine it's got a similar texture to, maybe not lychee, but like maybe aloe or something. Yummers.
There's other stuff to eat besides amber, whatever, right?
We have many different recipes for it.
I mean, same with us and our fruit. You can do anything with like a potato, an onion, eggs. Those are very versatile. There they are.
Rook?
Blanco!
As mentioned before, Rook is his surname, so his actual individual name is Blanco, which his family calls him.
Welcome. Welcome home.
These are Rook's female siblings. Rook has 4 siblings in total. We'll meet young ones soon.
Our space-traveling brother.
This right here is Rook Shar, who will eventually be inspired by Rook to join the Plumbers. Voiced by Alana Ubach.
All the neighbors saw you land.
Rook Shi, Rook Shim, Rook Shar.
I don't know if there's any logic or reasoning behind those naming schemes. Usually Ben 10's pretty good about that, but mostly for like species names and planets than like actual names. Although like the Galvins, Rook's name comes from somewhere. Someone named Rick Blanco, who was a creative director at Cartoon Network. There's young one.
Oh, young one, you have grown.
I cannot believe Ben 10 is right here on Ravana.
Another fan. And now we meet Rook's parents.
I see you've allowed yourself to come home for harvest, Rook Blanco.
Rook Da here is voiced by Eric Bauza. Da from Dad, I guess? Though his mom's name is Rook Brala. I don't know if that comes from somewhere.
Thank you for allowing me to stay with you.
What is he doing?
I believe it is called a bow.
I thought Earthlings shook hands.
Shows while not off-worlders, they're still pretty well informed in Earth customs.
I don't think your dad likes me.
Don't worry, man. It's always tough the first time you meet your boyfriend's parents.
This is not about you.
What a lovely house, too. Everything in Ravana so far has a brown and orange color scheme. Their clothes, the amber ogia, the furniture, but it's used very wisely. It never feels like it's too flat looking. Like, UAF used a lot of blues, but it was always generally the same blue, so it all kind of blended together. This is a smart balance of different oranges and browns.
So, all of this food is made from that stuff?
Come on, give it a shot, man. It'd be like having a whole table of like mashed potatoes, french fries, scalloped potatoes, chips, baked potatoes, hash. I gotta get in there. Such loud chewers, though.
Even the table was made from the resin.
Potato table. Really cool silverware. Yeah.
What does it feel like to transform?
Well, by most accounts, Ben transforms in an instant, so I'd imagine it doesn't feel like anything. But here Ben says,
Sort of like a good stretch.
an Omniverse also often has Ben morph into the aliens rather than using a flash, so perhaps with the perfected Omnitrix, he does kind of like experience that half a second switch between forms in real time.
You are eating with a back scratcher.
Now, they're aliens, so like, who am I to say it's weird that they have a back scratcher at the table? But yeah, with it all displayed right by the silverware and such, like, what else would you think it'd be? And here's Rook's love interest, Rayona, voiced by Kimberly Brooks. I don't remember this character all too much. I remember that she exists, but I always feel like I don't get much from her. I guess we'll see.
Forgive me, Rook Blala. I saw Rook Blanco return and hello.
Rayona.
Man, this would have been the perfect opportunity to put Rook in something other than his proto-armor. I think we only see Rook not wear this, like, twice. But I would love to see Rook in more casual clothing, like what I do in 5YL.
Accompany me to the Harvest Festival.
I do not know the plans of my house guest.
Ben's like, get in there, bro. Don't use me as an excuse.
It looks to be a fair harvest.
That's it? And then she's just gonna go home? You're not gonna invite her in? She walked all the way here? Look at this place. How'd she even get here? Now she's gotta go all the way back. Jeez, we're really spoiled by cell phones.
The harvest would be fairer if our eldest son were around more.
So Rook's father doesn't just disapprove of Rook for going off-world because it's against their tradition. Their harvest is also suffering without his input. Their harvest is also suffering without his help.
Rook Blanco, remember me?
We are eating dinner.
Damn, Rook. All right, I guess it is a little intrusive at a family dinner, but at least the first girl knocked.
Every girl in the region used to be after our brother.
This guy?
Enough! Not to bring foolish girls to the window,
Bro, that's not his fault.
or off-worlders to the supper table.
Come on, man. Who wouldn't want to dine with an alien? Come on, man. Shelter 101. You gotta set up torches to keep out the monsters at night. Like armadillo rat looking things. I like the look of them. You could still shoot him.
That muroid at the window. It stood on 2 legs.
Our first look at Deefus Vergelbaum. What was his name? Veebelpister? That sounds worse. The Lenopen going around trying to capitalize off of Ben's fame. Unless this image of Ben's reputation came first and Deefus just imitated what was already popular. But it's neat to see this design come back in a later episode. It's neat that it's in a slightly different art style too.
Ben, do a transformation. Do them all, please.
Do them all.
Oh, your show is on tonight.
Rook looks like he's sleeping on what would be the equivalent of like an air mattress or like a guest mat or something. So after all this time spent away from home, he still gives up his bed for Ben. What a guy.
I have a show?
will threaten Earthville no more.
Earthville.
Come, Gwevin, my space chimp.
Funny how that comes back too, but somehow the Legends of Ben misconstrued Gwen and Kevin as one person who is a chimp. Perhaps Ben was right to care about his image. I can't imagine Kevin's happy with half the galaxy believing he's a chimp fusion.
Did that really happen?
Not exactly.
Gaxian clones will make me run now.
Vilgaxian clones, huh?
Is there another episode?
Love that Ben's digging it too. Now get an actual good look at Ravana. Perhaps these elevations are domesticated, and this isn't natural to them either. This is just how they choose to finagle their land when they're farming.
It also serves as fuel for our lamps, flares, vehicles.
Can you transform into something now?
I'm surprised he hasn't tried, because unlike Under Wraps, it's not like he's trying to learn a lesson in hard work or anything. He should become like way big and just start picking them out like berries, you know?
Slap Strike? Unitar?
Both of which are also relevant later too. Yeah, do it. Don't crush the fruit though. Ah.
Your Earthfriend is breaking stone that stood for 100 lifetimes.
I mean, that's how all stone works.
My bad.
Bro, take off the armor.
That was your girlfriend?
More believable than your Alien X stories.
I love that that's still coming up, because even though we did see Alien X in episode 4, his memory... Well, no, it wasn't wiped. This is just straight up a different Rook. Everyone's dead, remember? That's canon. These are all just artificial clones that Ben created. None of this is real.
Here they come!
They need better security. Also looks like the background was supposed to get cut off right here. Aww. It doesn't seem like they're super violent or even harmful. They just want some Ambrosia. Perhaps if they grew like a specific crop of Ambrosia for the Muroids, it can deter them away from their food and also domesticate them in a way. That's what I'm trying to do with my yard this coming year, is like, I want to grow some more veggies in the backyard, but like I have rabbits. So we're going to grow some lettuce and arugula and stuff like where the rabbits come in through the fence so that they can just eat that and it's right there for them, and then leave our actual food alone.
Attacking in daylight?
Yeah, they're breaking the server rules.
Be gone, rodents!
Wow, Crash Hopper is that much taller than him? Huh, I had no idea. Unless this is an error.
Locust!
Come on, y'all saw him transform.
Hey,
These are farmers, and we have enough pests around.
Don't you see how easily spooked we are? So they do have some form of technology. They just choose to be as minimal as they can.
They hold a year's supply of food, fuel, and material goods.
they are back!
And they have hats. The Muroids aren't this coordinated and intelligent normally. If we saw like a pack of wolves like running into the street, standing on two legs with hats, we'd all be like incredibly freaked out as well. And now they're communicating. Fire looks really cool in this episode. Bonding moment. Damn, she's strong.
Unusual. Muroids eat food where it lies.
Anytime.
Oh, why would you throw it? Oh. Man, why would you throw it?
The entire Avonic underway has been corrupted. Do not bother coming back until you're ready to join this family.
I understand his frustrations, and while I would say he originally could be more empathetic, yeah, I mean, Ben, why would you throw it? That's so dumb.
Send that outworlder home.
Get him out of here.
Relax, this is not about you.
Aw.
Perhaps I should not have come back.
Ambrosia, it is the perfect material.
Effortless jump.
Can feed a space fleet, clothe it, fuel it. Petty dictator might steal our Ogia, threaten the galaxy.
Looks like that's exactly what's happening, though. Fistrick. I was surprised by this. I mean, I should have seen it coming with, like, the title, Bros in Space, but how the fuck did Fistrick even get here? I don't know if they explain it or not, but if they don't, I'm gonna headcanon that, like, after their last encounter, Fistrick did some intensive research on Ben and Rook and learned of Ambrosia through their direct interaction, or else this is just a coincidence that's too big to be believable for me. Also, if you listen closely, the Muroids are chanting bro.
I am your emancipator.
It's alright, buddy. I got tongue-tied, too.
Ah! Right?
Right? That's pretty funny.
Ah! Right?
The liquid's also animated very well. Oh, that's pretty good CG. I didn't notice it at first. I bet those suits are made of amber ogia. Are those Muroids walking beside them CG? They do have a matching frame rate. I think those Muroids are CG too.
You go warn the farmers.
Yeah, those Muroids are CG.
Hey! What the?
Now they're not.
Ben 10?
That's really cool. Kicking the lightning.
These boots got super good installation. How did you get to Ravana? I know a guy. How do you know about Amber Ogia? I know a guy who knows a guy.
Sure, yeah, there's your explanation.
And the harvesters? Knew a guy. Past tense.
Delicious.
This is the end of the Ravana wave.
You know, I kind of got sick of pointing it out, but I wish I have because I'm pretty sure this flash frame is used in every single episode we've seen so far. We've seen what, 16? Yeah, 16 episodes. I guarantee you this effect is in every single episode somewhere. I wonder if it's in all 80 episodes of Omniverse. Yeah.
I got it from a different guy, and he's past tense too.
Fistrik's just going around murking people. Ben transforms back to human. Is he small enough to just get out?
Hundreds of worlds are gonna have to do things the Fistrik way.
The whole galaxy is gonna get jacked. Change back!
Where is this fist trick from?
Earth?
Where you come from?
Alright, so Fistrik probably really did find out about Ravana because of Rook defeating them in season 1. So in a way, yeah, he did kinda bring them here.
I am from Ravana!
Then fight like a Ravana-gander!
Or jump in the mech suit. Hold on, did we actually find out how the Muroids hyper-evolved yet? Or is that coming right now? I just realized, like, they never explained that.
It took me months to train for that.
Just training? Even so, like that's extremely fast for them to learn how to like surpass what you would assume be just general wildlife intellect. They're standing, they're coordinated, they have a language. This can't all just be teaching, right?
Power up the star beam.
Okay, yeah, there you go. But I'm pretty sure you could have just done that mentally, man. You've done it before. Wow, these Muroids really ain't shit.
Bro!
You missed.
I wonder where that hit.
I know a guy.
Who's gonna kick your teeth in? Present tense.
It's a pretty good comeback. That sound effect's getting a little repetitive.
You are so obnoxious.
Love that he uses his feet a lot to differentiate him from the other melee fighters in the device.
Bruh. Despite our losses, the harvest is plentiful.
So even without Rook and losing a year's worth of supply, they're still fine? I thought Rook leaving the planet was a big deal, Papa Rook. Somebody just missed his son.
Without tradition, you are nothing.
Not all tradition.
Hey, look, Rook.
That's a snazzy outfit. I dig it.
More like the harvest queen. You?
Oh no, drag is getting to our kids. So this episode wasn't that exciting, but I still had a lot of fun with it. Nonetheless, it felt pretty average, so I'm just gonna give the plot a 3. I'm still kind of stuck on like how the Muroids were hyper evolved for a reason that at least I didn't find satisfactory, but even so, we only got the one line, which was an offhand comment of explanation.
It took me months to train for that.
It seemed like they were building up these Muroids like rapid evolution to be some type of big deal, but once we get that like offhand comment, it's just not brought up again, and then, you know, the Muroids are still there. It just kind of seems like a lot of attention was given to it for no payoff. I liked seeing Rook's family. I liked seeing his home planet. I wasn't too put off by Fistrik. I'm not a huge fan of Fistrik, but I think it was fine here. This is only his second appearance after all. I like the idea of Amber Ogia being such a versatile substance, and while Ravana separating itself from the rest of the galaxy and technology and all of that wasn't as big of a plot point here, it comes up a little bit more prominently in later episodes. You can still kind of see how their culture is very isolated and tradition-based, almost like the Amish in a way. But while I didn't really have any problems with this episode, aside from the Muroid thing, I didn't really get much out of here either. It's kind of just like a fun adventure. I enjoyed watching it, but it's nothing special. Characterization, I'll give it a 4. Rook and Ben were very well written in this episode. I liked how they bounced off each other. I liked seeing Ben sort of obsess over the notoriety he's gained in the outer galaxies where they don't know too much about him. Young One was set up to be an interesting character going forward. Like I said, Fistrick was all right in this episode. I think he was a good antagonist, and his plan was pretty interesting, sort of evolving from just being a extraterrestrial broker. Now he's trying to build an empire of his own. Visuals, I'm only gonna give a 3 though as well. While Rook's home planet was drawn very well, similar to like seeing Spider Monkey's home planet or Primus, it just didn't feel that different from Earth. And while lore-wise that makes sense, it doesn't need to be different. At least visually, that doesn't mean it's interesting. I liked the diverse looks of all the Ravonaganders, but the Muroids were all about the same. But their design itself was pretty nice. It's just another very average visuals. It was a good job. Importance, I'm only going to give it a 1 though. Everything you need to know about Rook's family or heritage going forward does get revisited, and it isn't really strengthened by seeing this first. And all of the joke setups for Deefus and everything, that's not really like important to know beforehand. It's just kind of a nice little Easter egg if you catch it. But it does get a 1 because knowing a little bit about Rook's backstory can help you appreciate the character more, but this episode is very much one of the skippable ones. And entertaining, as much as I enjoyed it, I'm only gonna give it a 2. It's not very rewatchable. The plot is very average. There's just not a lot that happens. It's fun to watch once and to get that satisfaction where now we've been to Rook's home planet, but that's about it. That's all this episode really gives you. That leaves this episode off with a 13 out of 25. It honestly feels like a harsher score than I would have liked to give it, but I do stand by all of my rankings. I don't think it really deserves any more, despite that it's harmless. It's a very harmless episode, but yeah, a 13 out of 25 is the best I can give it. Let's move on to the final thoughts. Another plot point that I forgot to talk about during the ratings that seemed to have gotten dropped. Like the Muroids, the episode was setting up this little storyline about who Rook should be taking to the Harvest Festival, or more specifically, Rook trying to reconnect with his old girlfriend again. It's just kind of dropped and fades into the background. That combined with the Muroids, it seems like there was a lot of setup towards things in this episode, but in the end, once Fistrick is defeated, everything else just gets forgotten about. I also noticed that all of the pictures of Ben from the radio show, he looks very muscular and over-designed, and in most of the pictures, his feet are hidden too. This leads me to believe this is a joke about the comic book artist Rob Liefeld, whose art is famous for also muscular, over-designed characters, and it's also speculated that he has a hard time drawing feet as well. But also, once again, to contrast the episode under wraps, it seems that this time Ben actually came around to enjoying the hard work on Ravonna.
For what it's worth, I was starting to like harvesting.
And to go over the last poll that we had, it's no surprise that most folks agree that Ben is just a stubborn dude. But surprisingly, in second place was the Celestial Sapiens. It's a valid reason, but I mostly put that option on there as a joke. But it was good enough for at least 21% of people to vote for it. For this poll, I want to ask y'all that when visiting Ravonna, what was your favorite part that we learned about Rook's past? Getting to know Rook's family, the versatility of the Amber Ogia, the Harvest Festival, or the Muroids? Let me know what you think in the community tab when this video goes live. I hope you all have a fantastic start to your year. And as always, keep it fizzy.